Welcome to Next Gen Manufacturing Nexus. Let's talk about those problems, the ones that just won't go away. The defects, the delays, the headaches you thought you fixed last quarter, but surprise, they're back. It is so frustrating, it's costly, and honestly, it can feel completely unsolvable. But what if I told you there's a blueprint to fix them, for good?
I mean, really, why do the same problems keep popping up? It's the question that echoes through production floors and engineering meetings all over the world. It's that feeling of déjà vu when the same non-conformance report lands on your desk for the third time this quarter.
And hey, you're not alone in feeling this way. This isn't some new phenomenon. In fact, the entire AD process was born from this exact feeling. It came from a place of, and I'm quoting here, growing frustration at the same problems that were recurring year after year. That frustration, it became the spark for one of the most powerful problem-solving tools we have today.
So let's get into this blueprint. It's time to introduce the 8D methodology, your guide to not just putting a bandage on a problem, but to actually eliminating it permanently.
Okay, so what in the world is 8D? Well, it literally stands for 8 disciplines. Think of it as a structured, team-based playbook for tackling complex issues. It's all about systematically identifying, correcting, and, this is the most important part, eliminating their root causes. We're not talking about a quick fix here, we're talking about a permanent one. At its heart, 8D is this systematic method that really fuels continuous improvement. But the secret sauce, it's the team-oriented approach. This is not a solo mission. This framework is built for the big stuff. Those major nonconformances, those nagging recurring issues, and of course, those critical complaints from customers or suppliers.
Now, you've probably heard of DMAIC, right? It's really important to know the difference here. While DMAIC is all about improving an existing process to make it better and more efficient, 8D is like a laser-focused strike team sent in to resolve a very specific, defined problem. So think of it this way. DMAIC is for optimization, but 8D is for elimination.
So what's actually inside this blueprint? Let's peel back the layers and walk through the 8 disciplines. This is your step-by-step guide to a real, lasting solution. All right, here we go. It all kicks off with D1, getting the right people in the room, a real cross-functional team. Then D2 is all about describing the problem with cold, hard facts, no guesswork allowed. D3 is so critical, you put in a temporary fix to stop the bleeding, to protect your customer while you figure things out. Then you get to the deep dive. D4 is where you hunt down and verify the true root cause. Once you know the why, D5 is about choosing and testing the right permanent fix. D6, you roll it out. Now, D7 is about locking in those gains, updating your systems, your training, your procedures, so this thing can never happen again. And finally, D8, you congratulate the team. And listen, this isn't just a fluffy pat on the back, it's a vital step that reinforces a culture of success and officially closes out the project.
And that brings us to something that is just fundamental. You cannot solve a problem you don't fully understand. If you get this part wrong, everything else you build on top of it is just a house of cards.
So how do you get that deep understanding? Well, in Discipline 2, tools like the 5WH method are totally non-negotiable. You have to ask, what is the specific problem? When did it start? Where did it happen? Who, which, and how? This isn't about opinions or feelings. It's about gathering undeniable facts.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But what about the real world? Let's look at a case study that shows just how powerful this can be. The transformation is incredible. So here's the before picture. A manufacturer was having a nightmare with this one part, a coupling disc. Their rejection rate was a staggering 37.95%. Think about that. Nearly 4 out of every 10 parts they made were scrap. The cost, the waste, it was a disaster.
And here is the after. By meticulously applying the 8D process, they absolutely crushed that rejection rate, dropping it all the way down to 6.57%. That isn't just an improvement, that is a complete game changer for their business.
And this chart just lays it out in black and white. Dropping from nearly 38% down to under 7%, that's not just a number on a slide. That represents a massive leap in quality, efficiency, and ultimately profitability, all because they followed a systematic approach. But look, to get results like that, you have to execute it correctly. So let's talk about how to avoid the common 8D pitfalls. You do not want to make these mistakes.
All right, first up, the biggest and most common trap of them all.
Skipping steps. Oh, it is so tempting. The team's under pressure, they think they already know what's wrong, and they jump right to implementing a solution. The result? You misdiagnose the real problem, you waste a ton of time and money on a fix that doesn't work, and guess what? The problem comes roaring right back. The solution is simple, but it is so important. You have to treat every single step with equal weight.
And the second major pitfall? It's all about who you get in the room.
Not forming a diverse team. Seriously, if everyone on your AD team comes from the same department, you're looking at the problem with one eye closed. You get groupthink, you get confirmation bias, and you completely miss potential solutions. The fix is to build a truly cross-functional team. Get people from engineering, production, quality, maybe even sales or purchasing. That diversity of perspective is your single greatest weapon.
Avoiding those mistakes is how you win today. But this is Next Gen Manufacturing Nexus. So what about tomorrow? Let's look to the horizon and see how problem-solving itself is evolving. Root cause analysis, the absolute heart of the 8D process, is getting a massive upgrade thanks to generative AI. We're talking about taking the human bias, the guesswork, right out of finding the true source of an issue.
And here's what that looks like in practice. A standard analysis might blame, say, a communication breakdown between teams. That's easy to do. But an AI-enhanced analysis, it digs deeper. It sifts through all the data, and it finds the real root cause, hiding in the system itself, a gap in an automated workflow. It pinpoints a problem that a human team might have completely missed, which allows for a fix that is truly permanent. This is the future of getting to the root cause and getting there fast.
So, as we wrap this up, it all comes down to this. We've gone through the blueprint, we've seen the incredible results, and we've even taken a peek at the future. So now the question is for you. What recurring problem, that nagging issue that you thought was just part of the job, what problem could you solve if you put this approach to work?